I was building my business from fear, real fear, the kind that has a face and a deadline. I was facing a health crisis. I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer 3 years ago, and I had a reoccurrence, and it required me funding my treatment and funding unconventional medicine that my insurance will not cover. And in my mind, I tied success as a prerequisite to me healing because I needed to be successful in my business so that I could heal. And when I realized that I had it completely backwards and that I had a prerequisite to my healing, that I had to heal because I was successful first, I realized healing does not require success first. And that realization took away the fear's job, took away the pressure that I was using from fear, which left me with the most important question I have ever asked myself, and I think I ever will. My fear was real. It was very specific. It was me being afraid of dying, afraid of because the traditional medical treatments, the chemotherapy I was going through, I had an allergic reaction. My body became allergic to platinum-based chemo. And so I had to really face the reality of what else can I do to support my body? And not only was I afraid that traditional chemo was not working for me, I was also afraid that I would get sick and die. And so I had to face that fear and I had to decide what other options do I have. But I didn't realize that the decision of what other options do I have came from fear. And so I was seeking out other alternative modalities, seeking out other alternative ways, and seeking out this solution, but it was coming from fear. And then my brain, which brains do, associated that if I was successful, then I could pay for all these other alternative treatments. And so my brain connected success with healing, success with being successful in healing what I was going through. And so, unfortunately, the success felt like a survival mechanism. Money equaled the only options I had to succeed and survive. So my brain associated making money, making success, being successful in my business as the only option to healing. And so those options became my prerequisite to healing. And that was the unconscious equation running underneath my fear-based thought, feeling, and action cycle. And I didn't even realize how exhausting, how depressing, how disappointing that was. I thought that it would be fuel, that it was what I call for my clients dirty fuel. And so that prerequisite of me having to be successful, that pressure and force I was putting into my business to be successful, to equal to money, to equal to me healing, was actually raising my cortisol in a way I was not aware of. And then I realized it. I saw it. I had a coaching session where my coach revealed my prerequisite, my if this then that model. I'm a, I'm a client, I'm a coach, but I'm also a client. I coach my clients on this, but sometimes we're inside the bottle, so we don't see it ourselves. And it takes an external person to show us what we are missing. And so when I saw it, first I laughed because as a coach, I understand this. And then I realized that healing was available without the success in my business, without the money as a prerequisite. I realized that healing was an option if I wanted to heal. And so the question became, if I healed, if I believed that I can heal, how do I want to do it? And then, do I still want to be successful in my business? And so the fear lost its job. The model of the thought, feeling, action cycle from fear lost its job. At first, I'm going to admit, panic followed because I realized up to that time, every time I went for a big goal in life, it came with fear. It came with anxiety. It came with pressure. And I realized that what I was confusing for the longest time as fuel was not helping me create what I wanted to create. And then I sat back with the analogy that I use with my clients all the time, an amazing luxury automobile. So I am the luxury automobile. The way I feel and the reasons I'm doing things is the fuel. And so I was mistaking the vehicle for the fuel. And so how do I want to take care of the vehicle? How do I want to fuel the vehicle? So I'm going to repeat that again. The emotions that we feel is the fuel. The emotions that we choose, our thought, feeling, action cycle that we choose is the fuel. We are the vehicle. We are the mechanism to create and take us where we want to go. So how do we want to fuel us? And so, like I teach my clients all the time, we can fuel us with the cheapest oil, the cheapest gas, and avoiding the maintenance, avoiding taking care of us. And that will only take us so far. But when we choose on purpose the type of fuel, the type of maintenance, the type of care we give ourselves, we then will last a lot longer. We then will take us a lot further. We then will be so maintained and so intentional that we will create the results that we want. So the question that had to ask myself, if I do not need success in my business or money to survive, do I still want it? Because I had to believe I'm going to survive. I'm going to heal. I'm going to be healthy. Do I still want success in my business? And the answer was yes, I still want it because it's my purpose. It's my goal in life. It's when I'm on my deathbed, I want to look back and say, I helped so many people. I supported so many people. I helped so many people in their journey in life. That's what I'm going to be thinking of. Whether it is, whenever it is, that's what I want to be. Before I take my last breath, be like, wow, look what I did in my life. And so then the work became, I had to separate them. My new why for my business was from the desire to do it, from the purpose to do it, the women that I want to serve, the thoughts that I want to have before I take my last breath. It's the work that I believe in to my core. Coaching has helped me so much. Coaching has supported me so much. Coaching has been such a huge freedom for me. It has been a huge, it's my life purpose. And so I believe in this work. And so I use it for myself. And so it's the life I am choosing for my business. And then my healing journey, it's what I am choosing for me. I want to live a long life. I want to be healthy. I want to be healed. I want to, yes, maybe use my example as a possibility, but I want to support me and my life and my future self by being as healthy as I could. And when I sat back with those two reasons why, with those two compelling reasons why, with those two different thought, feeling, action cycles, things started changing. Just even what I eat and why I eat it. When I work out or why I work out. How I sleep and why I sleep the way I sleep. The water I drink, the supplements I take, the when I go to places, because none of my decisions are coming from fear. My decisions are coming from belief. My decisions are coming from determination, coming from desire, coming from purpose, from intentionality, coming from care, coming from love. Very different thought, feeling, action cycles. And some of the actions are looking the same, like showing up in my business, but the reasons that I'm doing it is very different. So the difference is how the fuel moves my actions, how the fuel, the thought and feelings decide on what actions and inactions I take, how I show up, how intentionally I show up. And the difference between when I was using fear and I was having this prerequisite, it was exhausting. But now that I'm using desire, I'm using purpose, I'm using my compelling reason why, it actually energizes and fuels me. It grows my capacity in ways I didn't even know that subtle shift would have done. It has me showing up so much more consistently. It has me showing so much more intentionally. It has me showing up so much more deliberately. It has me using all the amazing tools and knowledge and wisdom that I already have on purpose. It has me just do, for example, I realized like before when I was using fear, I had the supplements, I had the tools right in front of me, and I wasn't taking them on a consistent basis. But now that I'm coming from desire and intentionality, I'm doing the things that I already know to do more deliberately. And I'm not missing things. And I am planning on purpose, and I am structuring my day, structuring my week, structuring my activities very intentionally and on purpose, because then that grows my capacity. And I'm finding myself even showing up at a more empowered place, pushing the limits of what was uncomfortable, pushing the limit of what I can do. And so, my dears, you are allowed to want success for the reason that has nothing to do with fear. You're allowed to want success because you want success. That is not a weakness. That is the most powerful place to build from. And I have taught this for so long. And until you see it also in yourself, you miss how you might be unconsciously doing it. And when it took an independent person, somebody different to see it for me, to guide me and direct me into a very different way of showing up. So if you've been building your business and your life from fear and wondering why it never feels like enough, take my quiz. My name is Ruth Duran. I help immigrant businesswomen create the life and business that they want without the necessary exhaustion and burnout that comes with doing it another way. I'm an MBA, I'm a certified life coach, I'm a master coach trained, and I too do not see the forest from I'm in the forest and I'm missing so much. I too need a coach. So if a coach can miss something so powerful, can you imagine what you might not be aware of and how I can support you? If you love my support, the link is in my bio. Have a blessed day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.